Hi everyone, this is audap. Let's check out Valis the Phantasm Soldier Collection 2 running on Nintendo Switch. Now, I quite enjoyed the Valis Phantasm Collection 1. That had Valis 1 through 3, the PC Engine CD versions of those games, and those games, I think, you know, while they're not perfect games, they're certainly classics for, you know, for the 90s, right, for the late 80s, 90s. Here, this Collection 2 is a little bit more troublesome. We do get Valis 4, which was never available on the, or we get the PC Engine version of Valis 4, which was never available in North America. Valis 4 was available on the Super Nintendo as a different cut-down version of that game. But then we get into things that I think might be challenging for somebody to be excited about. We get Syd of Valis, which was available on the Mega Drive, which I believe did come over to North America on Genesis. We also get Valis the Phantasm Soldier, the first game, the Mega Drive version. Again, might be hard for somebody to get too excited about that. And then we have the much older MSX version, the 86 version of Valis the Phantasm Soldier. So this is kind of a harder sell, to say the least. You know, we do get Valis 4, you know, again, the PC Engine version, the definitive version, and then these other games. So I think what Edia did, which was probably a smart move on their part, was make it so that these games are available separately. You don't have to get these games as part of a collection anymore. When this did launch, you did have to purchase all of these as a collection, but now you can get each of these games separately for $15 even. Right? So you do save if you buy them as a collection, but if you only want to spend $15 on Valis 4, which I think is probably what most of us would do, you can do that without having to deal with these other games. But with that being said, let's take a look at these. Okay, we got jump attack, special attack, sliding. Nice. Makes sense. Let's do it. Under subtitles, yes, please.
遠い昔、世界がまだガイアと呼ばれ、そこには様々な種族が平和に暮らしていた。東の国を支配していたのは魔元衆である。魔元衆の王アスファーは、その息子ガルギアに王位を継承させ、無限のエネルギーを持つという伝説の指輪タイタンを授けた。タイタンによって強大な力を得たガルギアは、神の掟を破り、他の国に侵攻する。そして、侵攻を反対する父アスファーを光の谷に追放した。神はその行為を許さず、ガルギアと魔元衆を水晶中グラードに閉じ込め、海底に沈めた。数千年の時を経て、魔元衆とその王ガルギアがグラードの中から復活した。
さあ、始めるか。メディアスは黒の軍団を率いて人間界を落とす。ルザード、ダルゲンは俺についてこい。無限界バニティ城を攻める。魔元衆以外は全て殺せ。ただし、女王バルナを生かして捕らえる。
相変わらず女には甘いよ
うで。敬意を表して、この俺の手で葬りたいだ
けだ。魔元衆の攻撃によって人間界は崩壊した。女王バルナの治める無限界も魔元衆によって陥落した。世界はガルギアが率いる魔元衆のものとなった。 バリスの戦士ユーコが天に去った今、魔元衆を止める者はいない。
レナ、どこへ行くつもりだ？
タム様、バルナ女王が今日処刑されると聞きました。助けに行きます。
おいおい、マジかよレナ姉さん。俺たちレジスタンスをおびき出す罠かもしれないし、一人で乗り込んで何ができるんだよ。
あまりに危険すぎる。
チャム、レナに行かせなさい。
優子の声。どういうことだ？
行かせてください。私は戦士です。戦いで死ねるなら本望です。
分かった。しかしくれぐれも無理はするな。
しょうがねえな。今さらバルナ女王を助けても何の解決にもなんねえが、暇だから付き合ってやるよ。
Okay, so start switches characters. Being a special ability is the sliding kick. Press down and 1 to use it. Amu's special ability is the spinning jump. Press the run button to swap sisters. Use tall obstacles to Amu. Press the 1 button at the peak of your jump. You can use weapons if you have WP. Press up and the 2 button to use it. Lena, Amu, come back alive. Let's see here. Screen settings. We have original, pixel mapping, and full screen. We'll never use. The pixel mode is interesting, but I always feel that it doesn't, just a little bit of zooming in, I think solves a lot of problems with having, borders across the top and bottom, so 4.3 I think is really the way to go. Too bad I can't get rid of that menu on the bottom of the screen, or on the bottom left, or bottom left of the screen. I don't know why that needs to be there all the time. But it doesn't work. Or my timing's off, I guess. I should really be more specific. Why can't she jump when I want her to? My god. I was very finicky on that jump. Do this? Oh, I can't still do it. Okay. Not good enough. God, this is just the first level. It's like the first area of the first level. I'm gonna lose all my lives just in the first level. That's so sad. Very strict timing on that double jump. You can't delay it like you would Ghosts and Goblins or something approximate. Or Super Ghosts and Ghosts, I mean. That's gonna take some doing, I think, to get used to that double jump. I'm all the way back here. Wow. Damn it. Why? Why? So picky. Yeah, she just will not do it. Well, finally. Oop. That totally wasn't worth it either. Full power. It's not a good sign.
小娘が少しはできるようだな。
私はレジスタンスの戦士レナ。バルナ女王を返してもらう。
Genke. Oh, oh.
ガルギ
おお、俺の名を知っているとは光栄だな。死んでいく前に名前を聞いておこう。墓石に名を刻む必要があるからな。
やばいな。だから俺はやめた方がいいって言ったのに。
ア。私はレジスタンスの戦士レナ。お前の命をもらう。
ダルゲンを倒した力は見事だったな。しかし俺の真の姿を見て生き残った奴はいない。
レナ姉さん、この場は引く気はないよ
奴を倒してバルナ女王を助ける。
な。分かったよ。やるなら一気に行くぜ。
死に急ぐか。とどめだ。何？
何？
傷が消えてる。
傷は私が治した。レナとアム。
何でも知ってるみたいだが、一体何者なんだ？
私の名はアスファー。ガルギアの父親だ。
父親？それがどうして私たちを助けてくれたのですか？
ガルギアがあのような姿になってしまったのは、私が無限の力を持つタイタンの指輪を授けたためだ。私にはタイタンを取り戻す義務がある。今のガルギアを倒すにはバリスの剣が必要だ。バリスの剣を受け取るにはバリスの戦士としての資質がいる。その資質を持っているのはレナ、お前だ。
バリスの剣、あの伝説の。
ガルギアを倒したいならバリスの剣を授かるために天界へ行く必要があるが、どうすれば。
そんなめんどくさいことできるわけねえよな。
わかりました。天界に行きます。
おいおい、天界なんか死んでから行っても遅くないよ。
私は一人でも行く。
なんて姉を持ってしまったんだ。せっかく助かった命を。
Well, she's not wrong. All right, let's go check out the other games. Like I said, you have to be a die-hard fan to want to play these. Anyway, let's check out Syd of Valis, which is the chibi version of Valis 1, right? I don't know who asked for this, but if I were Sega, I would have been mad. Like, oh, we're getting Valis? Awesome. Wait, what'd you do to Valis? Megas. And then to offer it on a, on a very low memory cartridges. Oh well, let's take a look. And look at the frame rate too. Obviously, it's unusual for a game to run like this on the Mega Drive. But that just shows you how much you put into this. Plus, look how close you are to the screen before it scrolls. I mean, you're right on the edge there. Does have a double jump though, I guess. I am one of the 12 warriors of Megas. The flying dragon, Cliff. Cliff? Hand over the sword of Valis. No, I won't. Yeah, and if you think that jumping looks floaty, it feels floatier than it looks. I mean, this clearly was not a game that was finished. Because, well, you know, while the base Valis game is, you know, like not some action classic, right? I mean, it's not considered like the top tier of its genre. It still, I think, was pretty competent. And a lot of that had to do with its really good CD presentation. Which obviously there's no benefit of that here. I mean, they didn't. This was an earlier Mega Drive release. Well, I guess maybe it's midlife. I don't know. But you know, it wasn't offered on the Mega CD. I don't think the Mega CD was available at the time that this was released. China dress. White beam. China dress is one of her special attacks. Huh? It's funny because I guess this was meant for kids. Like I never really thought that Valis 1 was like a gritty teen action title. I mean, it was meant for young girls, right? Because it was essentially Sailor Moon, like a variation of Sailor Moon. So the fact that it needed to be chibi and maybe aimed for kids, I really don't understand how this got made and why it's in the state it's in. I mean, it's just a terrible game. I mean, it is kind of cool that the levels just continue on. Well, not there. I guess there was a Heartbreaker. Why do you want the Sword of Valis? You will find out when you get to the Conte. You will never win the fight with the red fighter dragon Zaluga. Distracting screen effect is awesome. Huh? What? Ugh, such a bullet spine. to get hit from that. Yeah, that's no place for me to go. Such a big character, too. Huge hitbox. Version. Why does the boss have so many hit points? Sword of Valis, lead me to Vicante. Yuko, why are you here? I am always with you. Looking super creepy. What happened to Vicante? The leftover forces of Megas have rebelled. Valia's life is in danger. Valia's? Who? Hurry. Hee. I am Necropto, the Red Thunder Dragon. I'm going to smash you. Well, that's enough of that game. I can't even believe this is part of the same series. Oh my god. Alright, then we have Valis the Phantasm Soldier, the Mega Drive version of this. Or is this Mega CD? Oh, okay, this might be Mega CD. No, it isn't. Never mind. This is funny weather. It was fine until just a minute ago. Now that I think of it, I did dream about it yesterday. Yeah, you can already see that the color reduction is pretty dramatic based on what we saw on the PC Engine Super CD version. Someone was calling me in that dream. What does it mean? Stop raining. What strange weather. Well, it's definitely cartridge. Let me break out the cans. And I don't mean headphones. I mean actual cans. Yeah, I don't know if you remember the PC Engine version. I mean, it was known for having some really good animation. Obviously, they couldn't quite replicate that on the cartridge format. And like I said, it wasn't like, it's never been like the best looking game. This version is, not really quite there. It does have multi-plane scrolling though, which you know, was something that was very, very hard to do on the PC Engine. You know, there was ways to do it, and to have some animated tiles, which would give you the impression of background scrolling, but it just didn't happen very often. I don't know if there was ever multiplayer scrolling in the Super CD version of this game. I don't think there was. Not that it's adding like a ton of dimension to it, but it is kind of nice to see it. It's also nice that it's running at 60 Hz. I mean, you know, the character itself is running kind of slow, but the scrolling speed is like full 59.95. Again, this used to be very commonplace. 60 Hz used to be the norm. Granted, 2D games, you know, 3D games, even in this era, were definitely not 60 Hz. You know, I think they would barely hit 10 frames per second. But even nowadays, you know, you'll see games that are side-scrolling games on modern consoles that aren't 60 Hz, and it's amazing. This is a very hard version to love. It really would only exist for collectors. It certainly wouldn't exist for anybody who wants to play the game and enjoy it and have a moderately good time. That's not what this version is about. You know, Thailand has no one to blame but themselves. I mean, this is their own conversion. Oh man, that Mega Drive sound. And you know, this is probably one of the better Mega Drive soundtracks. Certainly better than what you know, what came afterwards with a lot of the games developed by American or European studios. I mean, those games had a tendency to not sound great. All those absolutely terrible X-Men games. They did a decent job on the cinemas. You know, obviously, they couldn't have as much animation as the PC Engine Super CD. You know, didn't have that massive amount of storage, or what was massive considering the time period. Yeah, not quite the same experience as the PC Engine counterpart. Again, I love the smooth 60 Hz scrolling. That's awesome. But kind of nothing else. All right. Now for the pièce de résistance. Let's get the MSX version. I can't believe anybody would even want this. Oh my god. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, well, look at this. Oh my god. Seriously, who is asking for this version? It's so terrible compared to the PC Engine version. I'd say it's just barely better than the. It's just barely better. Oh no, it's just barely worse than. Or sorry, let me rephrase that. Syd of Valis is barely better than this, and Syd of Valis is terrible. The MSX. I mean, it's a classic PC system in Japan, you know. So a lot of people were raised on the MSX as a gaming platform. Holy crap! It is hard to go back to any MSX game, even the MSX2, which came later. I mean, I think a game like this is good to see because this is in general what was happening in the side-scrolling PC market. I mean, this is how games ran. When Super Nintendo games, and even regular Nintendo games like Mario 3 or Mario World, when they had that smooth scrolling, I mean, this is what we were dealing with in the PC side. Not just because of the MSX, but like MS-DOS gaming. This was not atypical of an experience of a side-scrolling action game. Side-scrolling action games were basically relegated to not much better than a ColecoVision. I think people tend to forget that when they wax eclectic about old PC games. Like I remember having a conversation with somebody who liked Link's 386 Golf. And at the time, that was cutting-edge visuals, right? But flat-shaded polygons, something that nowadays we would, not look upon very well. But in those days, he was just so astounded about how real Link's 386 looked, and this was like in 88 or 89. And if you look up how Link's 386 ran on a PC. A 386 back in those days. Yeah, realistic is probably not the word anybody would ever use for that game. Yes, flat-shaded polygons, but oh boy, if that game was realistic and that was what you thought realism was, it just meant that you lived in an alternate dimension, for part of your life, or that you could claim to be legally blind. I don't even know how to avoid this stuff. Like, the animation is sort of like a Tiger handheld. So not really sure what I'm hitting or when I'm hitting it. And all of a sudden the enemies are not here anymore. It just randomly runs fast. How fast it runs when you're just sitting still. Yeah, that is a travesty. That is not playable by any modern standard. So there you go. This is audap. You've been watching Valis, the Phantasm Soldier Collection number 2, running on Nintendo Switch. Yeah, I could recommend the first Valis Phantasm Collection game, because that had 1 through 3 very, very solid games. Again, not the top tier of the side-scrolling genre, but really pretty good. Pretty good games. With Valis 4 being also pretty good, but not top tier. Valis 4 did see a version on the Super Nintendo, which made some alterations to it. Since it didn't have the value of the CD there. I thought that they did an okay job with that one. I'd still prefer to play the PC Engine version, but there were some advantages to the how the overall graphics looked on the Super Nintendo, which you do miss playing the PC Engine CD one, even though it's just a regular CD or a Super CD. But these other games, boy, it is hard to justify spending additional money for Syd of Valis, the Mega Drive version of Phantasm, Valis number 1, and especially the MSX version of Valis number 1. I mean, these are rough games, and I could not recommend those 3 games at all at any point in time to anybody. I can recommend at least 4, because that's a new experience, I think, for North Americans. You get the translation as overlaid English subtitles, which I think is nice. In this case, I would suggest that folks just pay the $15 and buy Valis 4 separately. Buy the Valis Collection number 1, and then Valis 4 as a separate game. Really, I just cannot recommend Valis Phantasm Soldier Collection 2, especially when 3 out of the 4 games is not good. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.